Federico Ferrante here from Azimut Yachts. We are aboard our S7, one of the four models of our S collection. So just a quick reminder, S6, S7, S8 and S10. And so we're gonna go today through a pretty comprehensive walkthrough where we are going to show you most of the features and a lot of actually the things that not necessarily you see in other ways on more standardized forms of communication. So I'll try to go backstage and show also a little bit of the technical side. We'll definitely go in the engine room. So let's start actually while we are here, let's start from this cockpit, which is incredibly rich and full of features. So going here towards the back, the transom, the aft of the boat, you see what it looks like, and it is a sunbathing area, of course, with the foldable backrest. But this area right here is a concentrate of a smart and engineering solution when it comes to boating. So for instance, you have an immense amount of storage, which is easily accessible from various areas that we're gonna go look. And this is where you can store, as you can see, all your covers, your windows covers, product cleaning, and so on and so forth. Now, one will say, why do you have access to this storage also from these two compartments? And the reason is that these are specifically designed for these folding chairs that folds in a flat configuration, and you can slide them in and out from those storage units without the need of opening from the top. So those two pockets are designed to accommodate the chairs. Moving on this side, you do have another axis of storage, you know, more flat, and we'll see why. That's under here is also the garage, which we'll go take a look at later. So, but again, storage space under this unit, and then of course you have a main center area, and any access of course doesn't require to remove or touch the cushions. Every storage locker you have seen opens and closes with the cushions on top, and so this is another area where you know, can be used for storage. So this entire area is sunbathing, but offers the entire volume, is dedicated to storage in a very modular and fraction way. So when you have to access something, not necessarily need to bother someone which is staying there if you have to open this hatch. While we are in the cockpit, in the aftmost areas, of course, we always like to talk about storage. In this specific configuration, they haven't used it, but we created this pocket where the extra line, which will be on your cleat, can go on inside this storage locker, which is designed to hold the lines nice and clean out of the cleat. So exactly the opposite as it is right now. Other technical locker, which we have looked also on other models, emergency bilge pump, handle for your capstans, and emergency bilge pump lever and valve selector for where which bilge area the emergency bilge pump will suction water from. So each bilge has of course electric pumps. In case of emergency, in case of the electric pump going bad, we install emergency manual pump. So this is what it is. You put that handle in that hole right here, and then you can use your hand to suction water in case of emergency. Moving this way, this entire sofa, once again, is available storage. And I will actually open it for you because it's worth it, and will give you an idea of the amount of volume. In a European configuration, this will be the perfect spot where to put a life raft, because over there is mandatory. Here in the US, you can put a life raft here, or you can use it for an immense amount of storage. And this is one side of the sofa, which then lock into position, and also under that cushion right there is all dedicated storage, sealed and watertight and waterproof in every area. Now, while we are here and we have this inspiration piece, this give us a message, and let me move this plant out of the way. because this table not only is actually a piece of art, but is made of extremely light gray finish carbon fiber, which tells us a story. You have carbon fiber here, you also have carbon fiber here exposed. We love carbon fiber. Who doesn't like the look of carbon fiber? The entire superstructure and the garage door of the S7 is all built in carbon fiber. So we have components. These, of course, there is some weight saving, but this is more a cool factor. It's more a good-looking table versus the structure of the boat, as well as heavy components like a garage door and so on and so forth. Being in carbon fiber, they affect tremendously the performance of the boat. The way this table works, there is a very simple locking system here. So what you do, you just move this back, because it can accommodate 8 people for a beautiful alfresco dining in a very simple way. You extract this leg, you take this part of the table. Again, I mean, I can have you feel the weight, but I can have you see the feeling. And here you go, you have a full 8 people comfortable alfresco dining under the roof in the shade with basically to move. When you're done and you don't want it all the way, you just close your legs or support brackets, and under here, and once the boat is yours, you will remember exactly where it is. You have a mechanical lock. It's locked in place and you're done. 2 seconds. And moving on the starboard side of the cockpit, my plan to go back where it belongs, and we have our wet bar. So beautiful surface in case you want to use it to serve food and have you know, a countertop available. But if you open it, you have your hot water, cold water sink and your barbecue. Underneath you have your ice maker, trash compartment, ventilated ice maker, so always ventilation is very important to make sure that appliances have the air they need to perform. And here, as you can see, very beautifully integrated. Most likely, if you wouldn't see the handle, you wouldn't even think that there is. Instead is your cockpit refrigerator. 2 drawers and ample capacity to serve immediately the cockpit. Well, we will see there is plenty of extra refrigeration inside. So if you look at this as far as engineering, and you see how balanced and beautiful is the integration of a ladder, which will go to the flybridge, which of course we'll go through later, a wet bar, which when in function has this kind of feeling, but when it's closed it almost disappeared. You have this beautiful, again, gray carbon fiber bar top, if you wish, and all integrated under the shade of the cockpit for a very unique and outstanding alfresco experience, I would say. Like every Azimut Yacht, this little panel right here is where you have your battery switches, so you don't need to turn on or off all your breakers of your commonly used DC components before leaving the boat. You leave everything inside and in the engine room panels the way you want them to be. You just flick this little tiny switch and the boat goes, all the DC power goes off, apart from where it needs to be on, such as like bilge pumps. So this is very convenient. You have your engine battery switch, your generator, and your service battery switch, all in one panel, of course, and your emergency stop right here. Audio control, Fusion audio control. And I think this is probably the best time to go inside. So the way this has been achieved is through doors which are fairly sophisticated when it comes to movement, and you know, but they give that kind of feeling of once you move all the door away, it slides into this pocket with the one end, very simple, and it locks safely in position. You see, it's locked, nothing move. So you can do that also when you're at the anchor if you have some rolling. There is no problem. Now you are creating this very open feeling concept where the interior communicates with the exterior. You can appreciate that we have no steps. So from the transom you get into the cockpit and you're walking through this, and all the way until the first step you encounter is the going down to the lower deck. And so now you have a completely flowing in one environment. And if the weather doesn't allow, it's too hot, it's too cold, of course you close the door, and then you're creating a more traditional layout with the separation. While we are approaching the interior, this is we offer this model, the S7, in two decor, we call them, two look configuration. One is called Pearl Nera, black pearl, and the other one is called platinum, which is this. So this one has two wood. You have a brush oak, so a very 10% gloss finish, very metallic finishing to this wood, so you almost feel like you're touching a raw natural piece of wood, right next to 100% gloss mahogany. So again, the combination of a very metallic, a very wild, if you wish, to the touch and to the look, so very warm, a very warm material with a very luxurious mahogany, 100% gloss, so something a little bit more sustained. And the combination of the two together, then in addition with the beautiful innovative materials and stainless steel trim, create this look which is the signature of a very renowned and sophisticated designer. Francesco Guida is his name. So Francesco Guida is the designer which designed the S7 interior. And while we'll talk about designers, Stefano Righini is the iconic Azimut designer which designed the exteriors. And we'll look at some of his signatures touch on the exterior as well. So while we are in here, we'll go through the features. As I said, I'll try to show you maybe more behind the backstage. So this is, of course, would be your glass cabinet, your bar. I just opened it so you can look at it better, but it was clear already. And underneath, again, plenty of storage and bottle holder for this bar party area, if you wish. You have, of course, a little bit of storage for audio video here. All your china is actually located here. So this is your full china set, very close to the galley, very close to this area, which can be an internal dining. We'll see how. And of course, very close also to the external dining area. So all your china, it is one place, all your glasses are there, and you have storage for extra liquor and bottles. And of course, you can't miss a wine cooler. So in this compartment right here, you have your integrated wine cooler. So everything in this beautifully designed piece of furniture which integrates this amount of features. Of course, ILO 55-inch television. This ILO has a switch right there, up and down arrows. When you want to watch television, you bring it up, of course. But when you don't, it completely disappears, integrated in the back of the cabinet, in order to leave as much as of this natural light and beautiful view possible and available in this salon. Moving on the port side, this is a very interesting and sophisticated layout. First of all, I personally believe those are two pieces of art. If you look at the stainless steel base of these tables, they are of course electric. They go up and down. They're extremely quiet. They're controlled by those two switches right there in the corner, and they allow you to create a very multifunctional area. If you, for instance, would put them in the lower position, they have a coffee table configuration. So you're lounging now on this sofa, and you have the table down, and is more as I said, in a coffee table configuration. And you can put your feet on it. You're watching a movie. You put your pillow there. This is the perfect position to be comfortable and relaxed on board. If you bring them up as they were before, you can actually extend it. They both open and move and slide, and they become basically one large table, similar concept of the table we have just seen in the cockpit, but times two. for dining inside 8 people, again in a comfortable configuration. Or you can leave one down and one up, and this can be for instance a morning breakfast nook table, where that is your coffee table configuration, and this will be more always up, so you can, they're dynamic, or you can take it down as well. They work in a very simple way, so they slide. For instance, this if it would be in a coffee table configuration, of course we would have slide it forward in order to create this more distance. So again, the concept is extremely dynamic. They fold and open, and can create a very large dining table. One can be down, the other one can be up, they can both be down, so very versatile. Is a very versatile way of configuring the salon through these tables. Sofas, again, we always talk about that, sorry. The entire sofa is dedicated to storage. So the entire volume of the C-shaped, beautiful Italian leather custom-made sofa, every section is dedicated to storage. Can be used for anything on board, and also as I mentioned already in other videos, if we have customers which are more inclined to do sophisticated audio-video package, that's a perfect spot where you can locate and place some audio-video components as well. Other than that, the entire area of the sofa is dedicated to storage. We have design lamps in this particular decor unit, so we paid an extremely high amount of attention to lighting in, I would say, in the last decade, and especially more in the last 5 years. So every lamp is designed from the largest for the largest Italian designers. So you have Floss, you have Artemide, so those 2 pieces on that bulkhead right there is part of the design lighting package as well. This panel right here is part of the design, the lighting design package. So you see there is not just lighting. If you look at boats from you know, 7, 6, 7, 8, 10 years ago, lighting was this was lighting, spotlights all over the place, and that's it. There was no lighting design. Look only at this salon. You have a backlit glass cabinet. You have design lamps as a piece of art in a corner there. You have a design light feature on the ceiling, a design lamp on the cabinet here. So there is a lot of attention of details and design to make the environment more and more look like home. We want our customer to feel at home on their boats. So if we move forward, we get to the galley. This is an open galley concept. Therefore, there's a lot of communication. This is a part of our sport collection, the S collection. So is you know, addressed for maybe a little bit less formal way of boating. So the galley is part of the salon, which is part of the cockpit. So you can tell here a nice large family of friends that enjoy the space, and they all have a great time on board. Full galley, Miele appliances, as always on our product. And if you were wondering where would be refrigeration, there is plenty. So you have 2 drawers of refrigeration right here, 1 and 2 on the bottom, freezer, and another refrigerator is actually right here. So you have the combination of these 3 plus a wine cooler there and a refrigerator in the cockpit. So in 15 feet of length, you have basically 4 refrigerators, a freezer, and a wine cooler. So plenty of refrigeration space, plenty of storage as well. So this is a very big and nice, as I say, I always like to show the depth. So almost a foot deep drawer. This is all your cutlery. Again, all our cutlery is specifically made for Azimut Yachts, so every piece comes with the boat and with the Azimut logo on it. focusing on storage in galley, you have these three very convenient pockets, if you wish, where miscellaneous galley stuff can stay. Of course, you have storage and trash under the sink, and you have the mini dishwasher as well, so no need to wash dishes. Provided is also natural ventilation, so through this switch right here, you open this glass and you have natural ventilation in case you're cooking something smelly. You can actually open this one on the port side, you open that one on the starboard side, you create airflow, and then imagine if you also open the roof, which we'll talk about later, then of course you have, you know, all the airflow that you need. This material right here, in Italian we call it quartzite. In English, to be honest with you, I don't know. It's quartzite. It's a man-made natural material, and it looks like marble. And as a matter of fact, we call it statuario quartzite, which comes from the statuario Carrara marble. The difference with marble, though, is that this doesn't absorb fluids, so it cannot be affected by spillage of citruses, orange, lemon, alcohol, wine. So you have the same look of marble, but is much more durable and resistant in terms of absorbing fluids. This will be your in-helm electrical panel. So of course you have you know, your DC panel and your AC panel are separated, but these are the first first control panel. Of course, in the engine room you have more for the main components, but these are the breakers and system that you want to control from here. Air conditioning coming through the galley and also on the windshield. We now took all the window covers off, because of course we want to show the boat in the way it will be. The boat comes equipped standard with the window covers throughout, so when is at the dock or in the marina, to be protected, all your interior material sorry, and so on and so forth, you will have all your window covers on. Let's move to the helm. Very comfortable and generous. One would ask, why did you put the co-pilot seat on the starboard side? So if I'm driving the boat and somebody is with me, they need to we both need to move, or it's kind of unnatural. The reason is not, we obviously wouldn't make a mistake like that. The reason is the imposed visibility standard by the certification entities. So this is, first of all, is a CE Class A boat in terms of a classification of safety and standard navigation, and along with the tens of parameters that you need to satisfy, there is visibility. So the angles, there is a very specific angle gradients that you need to make sure you respect in terms of visibility in order to position your helm. So you need that structure right here, you need that structure right there, because they support your superstructure, and the helm here would have created an interference with this structure right here, which doesn't provide the safest possible position. So again, safety first, as always, especially when you go out to sea. So the reason why the helm is here and the co-pilot seat is here is because this satisfies in full the requirements in terms of angles of visibility. Going into the details of the helm, this is a Raymarine equipped product, so our electronic packages are Raymarine. This specific unit has the platinum package, so the best of our electronic package, which of course include also what we call the monitoring system. So this is where the owner or the captain can also control several of the functions of the boat, from the alarms, for instance, from bilge pumps. We can turn on and off, and they're pointed. Every green dot here shows where a bilge pump is located, and from here you control them. Then distribution of power, you can start and stop the generator here. You can put the generator online and offline, and you read your voltage and amperage drop of your either generator when the generator is the source, or the shore powers when shore power are the source. For instance, in this configuration, you can tell that we have one shore power plugged on board, which is feeding both bars of the electrical system of the boat. If you would have a second shore power, you will see obviously this side green, that bar closed, and you know, each independent. This will be open, that closed, and each shore power feed one of the two bars. When you have generator on, everything is connected and powered to the generator. Navigation page, you have your tanks, fresh water, gray water, fuel, control of the pumps, controls of the windshield wipers, and navigation lights. Air conditioning is probably the most useful because until we started to integrate monitoring system in this way, you were forced to basically go in every single area and set the parameters of every single fan coil or area at least individually. Now you can do that by clicking on each one of these area. You select the area, you decide what you want to do in that area. But if you don't want to bother with that, you just synchronize maybe during the day where the same temperature is okay for everyone. You hit the one button and the entire boat, the entire conditioning system is set on the same temperature and on the same fan speed level, so noise. And of course you have your alarm page, and settings is the page that you need to change setting. You need to hold your finger on that if you want to change language, if you want to change unit of measurements, and all specific parameters. You can also customize the monitoring system to your own specific needs. And then of course you hit the home button, and then you go in the standard chart plotter, radar, fish finder pages of the standard Raymarine G series configuration. Moving here, control station. Handles, everything provided by Volvo. So we buy from Volvo Penta, of course, the 3 engines in the engine room, IPS the 1350, and the levers as well as the joystick. So it's a full package, all provided by Volvo Penta, which is very important in terms of service, warranty, distribution, parts. You have the customer will have only one reference point and one supplier for the entire propulsion package. Joystick always located to the most external part of the helm because you can actually use it and look where you are controlling and maneuvering the boat from this side, where you also have an electrically operated openable window. We still provide bow thrusters on our IPS configuration, and the reason, technically you don't need bow thruster on IPS, and it's true. Through joystick and their maneuvering features, you can do the same maneuvers that you would do using a bow thruster without. We still put bow thruster in because specifically here in the US, as you can see, we dock a lot through pilings, and so when you want to do the finesse maneuver, maybe is a husband and wife, and he's driving the boat and she's putting the line on a pole, with the bow thruster you can get to that finesse point where you don't have any movement of the boat, and so that's why in product of this level and range is worth it to also add the bow thruster for that extra comfort zone. So I think we have covered the helm, but of course the helm seat up and down, back and forth, electrically adjustable. The co-pilot seat instead is fixed in position. Both bolster, all these seats are handmade, custom made, custom designed for Azimut and for the S7. So this is not an off-the-shelf seat that you can buy in any ship chandler. These are designed by Azimut, manufactured one by one, and actually the leather and the color finishing is selected by the washer. Perfect position, comfortable to open, close, transfer load, and operate them. That cabinet right there could be the perfect place where to put you know, the various soap and softener and products that the machine needs. You close them, it disappears, and you will never know you have basically a laundry set in this area. Storage, little shelf. This will be actually probably even a better to be honest, position for material which you're going to use the soaps and so on for the washing machine. Maybe you can leave them here, even though, I mean, you also have a refrigerator for night usage, so you might want to have some glasses here. So, but that again, you have storage on the bottom, refrigerator, storage shelf on top. So maximize usage of volume and space. While we go through the boat, you will encounter these components right here, and this is the central vacuum system. So we try to place them in the most discreet position, but also they are located in position where by connecting the hose you can cover the largest area given the length of the hose without disseminating the boat of multiple sockets. So we try to put the least of them possible, while they're not that beautiful to look at, in order to cover the most area possible given the length of the hose, which of course is the given point. But if you wonder what they are, those are the central vacuum system inlet. You insert the hose, which of course is supplied with the boat, and as soon as you put the hose in, the vacuum cleaner starts, because the hose has a metal ring which get in contact with another switch in this socket, and basically that's works like a switch, like a light switch, and starts the vacuum system, central vacuum system. Appreciate also the light work. This decoration panel is all backlit LED and gives this idea of a floating beautiful panel to create space heading to the master cabin, which is where we are right now. Full beam separation. So you can see that the bed is the furthest most away possible from the noisy area of the boat, if you wish, which would be the engine room. So you have this entire block, which is we'll see is a walk-in closet, shower, bathroom. Once you close this door, this entire block creates a complete separation from engine room and crew quarters, so granting the owner the most quiet. So it's the widest part of the boat. That's what we call full beam master cabin, is the widest part of the boat, but also the comfortable and quiet because of this air pocket insulation design, positioning of bathroom, showers and closet. Natural light. This is natural light galore. So of course is the sport collection. So we have a little bit more of an aggressive look with these 6 windows framed instead of being frameless, because of that cosmetic look that we want to give to the exterior, but also create a more dynamic and sporty design without penalizing the amount of natural light. So again, if you look at the amount of light and you think about being in the Bahamas, in Sardinia, in Polynesia, wherever the Azimut Yachts owner of an S7 would be, and you are in your master cabin, and now what you're looking at from these windows is paradise, I don't think there is a better place where to be. Very innovative, as you can imagine, is that we call this a TV totem, designed to incorporate this curve, of course 50-inch TV, and made custom for the purpose, and creates this suspended element, technological and advanced, but meanwhile elegant and design oriented, with of course this LED profile which make it look like it's kind of floating. Perfect visibility from the bed, of course. And we'll see here which the S7 have this very unique head bathroom configuration. We'll now go through a little bit about actually storage, and again, like signature pieces of our all our collection, cross-referenced, lot of storage under the bed. So under every single bed, unless we need the space for technical purposes, and typically on smaller boat, maybe you have a freshwater tank in a 34 and a 40 footer, but anywhere else where components can be in the bilge and they don't need a space, under the beds is the best place for suitcases and large volume towels, sheet sets, covers, and so on and so forth. So Under the beds you have a lot of storage. You have that's of course a drawer. You have a drawer set here, which is actually pretty voluminous, and you can tell it's a 4 bins compartment. And I always like to say, you know, you're talking about almost a foot deep each, and so a lot of storage for clothing here. This unit right here is another immense amount of storage. Now 3 bins for that kind of length right there, and same depth as those, so an incredible amount of storage there. That area right there is was a sort of a design inspiration from Francesco Guida, which now in this case they have put this sphere, this decor sphere, but you will see probably also on our website, on the brochure, there were little plants. So it was an area to have a sort of a Zen garden, if you wish. So they are designed to put decoration elements which connect to the lights. Of course, mirror on both sides that even created that feeling of depth that makes the cabin feel so big. And also here we are looking at design pieces. This is, for instance, this is from Artemide, and it's called Mezza Chimera, which mezza in Italian means half. And half because the original design of Artemide from the 70s was called Chimera and was as tall as I am. And actually I happen to have one in my house from the 70s. It is an incredible piece of art and lighting. And now recently they release they still make the full Chimera, and they release the shorter version, which they call Mezza Chimera because it's half of a Chimera. Those are Artemide as well, and they are called Tolomeo. So those lamps, or those reading lamps that you see on top of the bed, those again are design pieces, and they're not just light, they are pieces of design. If we are very inclined to design, we are probably the most sophisticated manufacturer in the world right now when it comes to design, the amount of designer we use, the level of designer we use in products. So every component, every combination of material has hours and hours and hours of design and engineering behind. So if you go back talking about design, this is actually a very unique solution in terms of design, because we decided to do something different, something innovative, which is a sink outside, if you wish, of the bathroom, which we'll see later. So this is your sink area, of course, with storage, drawers, and cabinetry throughout, natural stone countertop, design minimalistic faucets, ample mirror, beautiful top here, so it's outside of the bathroom in a way, but of course it's behind this television totem, and so created this new configuration and look. Behind this bulkhead, which as you can see almost seamlessly flow, in reality there is a pretty decent surprise, because it's a full walk-in closet. Actually I walk in, so I give you an idea of the dimension. You have a 90 degrees angle hanging bar, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shelves, a bottom shelf on the bottom with a safe in the middle, a full-length mirror if you need to see the way you look before going out, a set of 4 drawers, and another 3 shelves here. So this is a pretty intense in terms of size for 70 feet walk-in closet. All the drawers again very deep. You can see the amount of fabric, how can I say, clothing that you can fit in that storage available. Moving into the head is worth it, because also here storage is impressive and also cleverly hidden. For instance, this is a huge volume of storage, which once closed, one wouldn't even think that exists. The same for here. So look at the volume. We make sure, looks like we have a lot of toilet paper rolls all over the place, but a lot of volume you know, and deep. Look at the amount of clothing or towels or you name it, you can have here. Like this is not enough. Now look here, another storage volume, and when you lift that panel, you have another storage level underneath the panel, so you can divide eventual storage component. And of course, this is self-explanatory, but you also have storage here. So, and again, we just moved within you know, 3 feet in a bathroom, and look at the amount of volume of storage available. Look at the amount of space, and how can I move freely. You have a rain shower as well as a telephone shower here, and this is a full residential size, so I can move and take a shower without any impediment and all the comfort that I would have in a shower at home. I always like to compare you know, showers and an elevator. I will make the joke that showers in the US are the same size of elevators in Italy. Actually, believe it or not, in Italy I've been in elevators this big. So this is a very comfortable shower. Talking about the technical aspect, this entire panel is down with the male-female clips. You lift it up and you can access the drainage for maintenance and cleaning without any need of any tool. There is no screws, there are plastic clips, male, female, and this lift up, you access the drainage, you put it down, you step on it, you put down a nice kick and go back in place. Detail of the stainless steel, for instance, I like always to point out Azimut logo on the handle of the shower, which means that is a custom-made piece for the S7 Azimut. This is not a piece that you buy off the shelf from any brand, which makes them in thousands and therefore can keep the prices in certain ranges. This is custom made by small companies in Italy, handmade for the Azimut S7. Actually, not for Azimut, for the Azimut S7. Moving forward, I think probably we do the VIP cabin first, which again is extremely voluminous and spacious. Thanks to our signature bow, trapezoidal bow, you know, you have the largest and widest, actually, separation bulkhead between the collision bulkhead and the VIP cabin. It gives this incredible amount of space in a 70 feet forward cabin. Also in this model, bed comes up, and actually we talk about the vacuum, the central vacuum system. Here you go, that's the hose, and this is the amount of storage that you have under the bed of the VIP cabin. If you wonder what this red button is the emergency stop of the bow thruster. It comes a part of the kit in case for some reason the bow thruster will get stuck and keep on running because of a malfunction. You simply come here from there, I mean it's 10 steps, lift the bed, push this button, and the bow thruster power is cut off. And under those panels you have the battery bank of the bow thruster, so that's why the emergency stop is close to the batteries. The rest is all available storage in 2 levels, so that panels lift up and you have extra storage underneath. Divided so things don't move around. This is, as we said, is our vacuum system hose, the ring I was talking about before. This is the metal ring. You insert that into the socket. The metal ring connects the 2 switches and the vacuum system starts on its own. And you have an handle that you connect the various components and you can vacuum. So that's what it is. Again, ample amount of storage everywhere. So hanging lockers on both sides and shelving. Every time you see this kind of pull out for panels, it means that behind here there might be components, valves, drainages, maybe gray water, carbon black filters, components will require access. These panels are held in place either by male-female pin lock system or double-side 3M Velcro, so they come off easy without the need of any tool. So you just put your finger, pull, and you access the system or the components which are behind the panel. These are actually very beautiful. They are ceramic, so this handle again focus on design. This is ceramic handles, which are characteristic of the S7. Same on the other side as far as a locker with shelves, and then you have a ceiling storage on both sides of the VIP cabin, as well as use of space everywhere. So sort of nightstands if you wish, because the shape of the bed, but nightstands with the drawers where you can put your phone, the night book, and whatnot. In suite, of course, the VIP is an in suite. Same material layout of the master cabin. So we have stone countertop, storage, ample storage everywhere, and we have storage here and storage here. So this is the amount of storage, and also right here. So this, you can see again in 2 feet now. Look at the amount of storage that you have to make sure that you can leave on board everything you need when you get to the boat. So that's also one of the luxury and privileges, is that when you want to go boating and you leave your city, the place, your home, to go boating, not necessarily you need to pack. You just take yourself, go, maybe a small little bag with a couple things, but you can leave on board everything you need to go boating, and that's why so much storage. Shower, 6 feet, 75 kilos, 170 pounds and change, and I am absolutely super comfortable. I don't have any limitation of movement. Telephone shower, adjustable. I can put it away, at my height, and is really, I don't have any discomfort. I'm not in an RV environment. I'm on a yacht, on an Azimut Yacht, so the comfort level is. I think we can go now to the other 2 quarters, which they share a head. So this bathroom right here serves the double purpose of serving this cabin with a direct access and a direct door, as well as this cabin with this door, and also works as a day head. So if you have guests on board and friends that not necessarily spend the night and they need to use the bathroom, this is going to be the day head used during the day. So now the port cabin is a twin, very comfortable, wide mattresses, storage everywhere. So we have hanging locker with shelves, small and large, as well as storage under the beds, which is vented. So we want to make sure that whatever is under the bed also has as much airflow as possible. And so you see that they are designed with vents in order to guarantee airflow into the storage. And while we are at it, actually, all our mattresses are Lympha is the brand, and is the memory foam. So the top quality mattresses available for yachts on the market. They come standard with Azimut Yachts. So under each bed you have storage, and we always take a look also at technical space, which is important. This is the air conditioning unit of this cabin, and the same applies for every area and every cabin, as well as the salon on the boat. So we always place the air conditioning unit in a very easily accessible location, because it's very important to clean the filter, the inlet filter. So the inlet filter are held in place with Velcro, and they just have to come off. You clean the filter, put it back on. This is something that I always recommend to do at least every couple of weeks, minimum once a month, and that's why it's something that you want to be able to access very easily, without tools, without the need of taking apart components. We install them in very convenient locations so they can be maintained easily and properly. And then once you have cleaned it, you put it back, has 2 Velcro pieces in front, and you're done. Of course, you need to do it for every fan coil in the boat, but it is highly recommended. As far as storage, the same applies under the other bed where I'm sitting on. So we will not go through it, but there is a storage under this bed as well. As we said, you can control, of course, the air conditioning from the main helm, but you don't have to. Every occupant of every cabin then, of course, has his own dedicated independent panel. So you will see this dometic panel in every cabin, and each cabin can set its own air conditioning temperature and fan speed. So you can do either or. And this obviously prevail. I would say we covered this twin. This is actually a more versatile cabin. So 70 feet is a range where having 4 cabins layout is challenging. There are many boats in this range which are 3 cabins still. So we wanted to provide instead 4 cabin through a very creative, if you wish, solution, which is this L shape. So it's sort of a bunk bed, but much more comfortable. First of all, it's much easier to go up on this bed. Actually, you know, I can show you where, you know, it's extremely easy. And once you're up, it's a fully comfortable bed where an adult can sleep very comfortably. So it's not really a bunk bed with a ladder and stairs. It's very easy to go up and down. And the cabin, despite this configuration, perfect for kids, of course, but it's very large. So you have an ample amount of storage, hanging bar and shelves, and all that bottom is a shelf. Of course, you have a storage under this bed, so all this bed is storage. But also, once you are in here, you have a lot of space. You can get dressed, undress. So is really a 4th cabin. Of course, is a little bit more sporty, if you wish, than a little bit more formal twin or a VIP. But it's a full 4th cabin, so can allow you to take 2 extra people cruising on an S7. So we covered the main and lower deck, so I think it's time to approach the Flybridge. Actually, before moving there, I would like to notice, look at this beautiful piece of carbon fiber. We talk about the carbon fiber table, in that instance made in gray carbon fiber, and we'll see that there are different carbon fiber accents throughout the boat to always remind the owner, of course, of the beauty of the material, but also the fact that he has purchased the most technologically advanced yacht on the market in this segment. And so this, look at this beautiful piece of stainless steel and carbon fiber frame. This is obviously cosmetic, aesthetic. It doesn't have a structural function, but is a design piece. So going to the Flybridge, we saw it briefly in the cockpit later. So integrated ladder, so very safe, sturdy handrail, but integrated into a polished AZ stainless steel. So have also this kind of design look, if you wish. Very safe. Again, well, we just mentioned carbon fiber profiles here as well. Very safe approach to the Flybridge. Handrail, so I leave the handrail here. I have immediately another handrail to grab here and another one here. So again, I always like to point out stairs and handrail because we always do these videos when the boat is at the dock still. It is true that we provide seakeeper stabilization on all our boats. So the rolling I remember back in the days when I was younger and going out at sea doesn't exist anymore, thanks to seakeeper, but still you might be caught in rough condition, and so it's always good to be safe. And so if you look at this path, you have a very safe handrail. As soon as you leave one, you grab another, and very wide, nice and safe steps to go up to the Flybridge. While you go this way, look at this piece of art. Every time I've seen these hundreds, literally hundreds of times, and every time I see this piece, I like to sit down and contemplate the beauty. It's really, it looks like a spaceship, in between a spaceship and a Formula One car race. And of course, the custom black painted domes as well as mast and FLIR night vision camera and radar that makes it all flow like really this is aggressive and design oriented. And while I'm here, this is a very comfortable sunbathing area. So we are on a product from our S collection, S Sport. So is a design which is more oriented towards shape which are more affusolato, you say in Italian. So something more aerodynamic, if you wish. And so we put the Flybridge on the S7 because the size allow, and is also a good comfort zone for this is a product which will be in most of markets owner operated, and so it's much more you feel much more comfortable driving a boat this big from the Flybridge. So there's also some practical need, but still is a Flybridge on an S product, so you can compare size wise a Flybridge of a 70 feet Flybridge collection versus a Fly on an S collection. So to be on an S collection, this is a phenomenal Flybridge. You have a double sunbathing bed here, which of course have storage underneath, immense amount of storage where you can put all your covers here. You have a refrigerator, drawer refrigerator here for your drinks. So when you are on the Flybridge, you actually can keep beer and sodas, cans here without the need to go necessarily downstairs for drink. You have a beautiful dinette. So once again, you might have owner, wife, a significant other side by side driving the boat, and you can easily have 3-4 friends here in a very comfortable, relaxed environment. And again, you're driving, your wife is there, I'm here, my wife is here, we chit chat, we have a great time down the intercoastal waterways or anywhere else in the world you might be cruising. This is really this is what yachting is about. Spend time with friends, family, have a good time outdoor. And this Flybridge right here, you have 2, 4, 6 people can be very comfortably located on a Flybridge on the S product. This layout also very cleverly convert into a sunbathing area. So again, Italian intelligence. So you have a cushion here. This panel slide in. This cushion fills there. That other cushion you put it on top of this, and this becomes a nice sunbathing area. So now you have 1 and 2 sunbathing area, and 2 seating side by side driving. Then you put this back, cushion on top, cushion back in its storage, close the door, and you're done. So the sunbathing area convert into a sofa with very simple mechanical gesture. Nothing can give you a problem. Of course, the boat comes with exterior covers. So every time you see these snaps and these devices here are because we provide as a standard covers for all the exterior furniture and upholstery. And you also have a Bimini top, which folds. Right now they have removed the fabric of the Bimini top, but you see this arch structure right here. It opens, manual. This line right here connect to those hooks right there at the aft of the Flybridge, and you have a shade through a very sturdy stainless steel Bimini top with this umbrella fabric on top. The helm of the Flybridge is very comprehensive, as everything that the helm downstairs has. So from your seakeeper control, joystick, levers, I don't think we want to spend too much time here. And actually, I need to reprehend myself because I forgot when we were in the salon and main helm galley. I think I mentioned it fairly quickly. I don't think we spent enough time on the electric roof. And from here, actually, we probably have a better idea, because if you look at that black panel and those 2 stainless steel pieces right there, you can picture actually the framing. That roof completely slides open, and there is a shade, a curtain shade in the salon, which actually can open and close independently from the roof. And so you open the shade, you open the roof, and then you have that big section completely open air. So I always like, to say maybe not during the day, but at night when your beautiful stars are glazing and the moon is full, like it was last night here in Florida, and you open the roof, you might have an incredible view and experience on board your yacht. So I think we covered the Flybridge. We can approach the bow. Side boarding gates, so this is very convenient for the US market, where typically we dock and we have a side docks, unlike the European market, where most of the time they docks turn in, and in case that will be the case, the boat comes with a gangway. which is electro-hydraulic and controlled by those two keypads right there. One controls the garage door, the other one the gangway. But in case of sideboarding, like more typical of the American markets, you would have typically a ladder, a sideboarding ladder, and you have sideboarding gates on each side already cut through. I don't think we covered this. So this is your docking station, cockpit docking station. Again, joystick from Volvo, and you have different features on the joystick itself. The joysticks are all the same, the one here, the one on the Flybridge, and the one in the main helm. This will be your sky hook, so once you press this button, the boat stays at the latitude and longitude crossing as well as the bow heading, so it doesn't moves with a tolerance of 2-3 feet. You have joystick maneuvering, cruising, which means that you use your joystick as a rudder. Basically, you're moving the pods during navigation through this feature. You have the high mode, which is extra power from the docking mode. Docking mode is your docking. You use the joystick for docking, means that has a limit of the RPMs the engines can reach in relation to your impressed movement. And then you have high maneuver. In those instances where you have a strong current or strong wind or both, you can have extra powerful docking features. So here you have your joystick, which again controls all your IPS pod drives, as well as your bow thruster, progressive bow thruster. So we said we were going to go to the bow. While we're passing through here, this is the access to the crew quarter, which we'll go through in a little while. And you can see how wide and comfortable is the walkthrough to the bow. Very sturdy handrail throughout. Easy 1916 electro-polished stainless steel. And here you arrive to basically the fourth lounging area on the S7. So we discussed about the cockpit, which have the alfresco dining combined with the sunbathing area, the Flybridge, comfortable available room for 6 people in a comfortable environment, two seating, the sofa, which is very versatile, and here you have immense sunbathing area in the front side of it, and you know, a comfortable C-shaped sofa with the shade and your coffee table, again, when you can enjoy the weather, relax, and have good conversation with friends and family. Somebody can hang out in the sun, somebody can stay in the shade, and we all enjoy the same area, the same space. Of course, you have audio system here. There's music, and that's the control, the fusion control. That black switch is the switch which control this Bimini top to close and open. When you close it, you simply fold this backrest, so the Bimini top falls into this pocket right here, but also the backrest during navigation, high-speed navigation, will not interfere with visibility when it's in a down position. Bimini top are designed always with this mesh back, so wind can go through without making them blow up like balls. And you see all of these snaps, because of course this is the area of the boat where speed and wind from speed will affect it, so the cushions are secured in place in a more strong manner than the aft, clearly. And but once you lift them, under each cushion you have a watertight storage throughout the entire sofa. So the entire sofa is watertight storage divided in compartment that you close and you access by simply removing the cushion and re-putting them in place. Let's go down to the crew quarters. Again, storage everywhere. Just to give you an idea of volume and depth, this is where you can put, of course, covers, maybe small fenders, cleaning product more than anything. This is a perfect position for your cleaning product, chamois, brushes, and then window cover if you wish, and furniture cover. Secured in place so they don't open in any kind of weather condition. Two comfortable steps, again handrail, and actually this is what we're passing by here. This is a very interesting. This is one of Regini. Again, we discussed. This is an exterior design by Stefano Regini, which actually is the same designer which did this 72 Flybridge as well. And one of his genius touch, if you wish, was this what he called diamond cut. So you will notice that these windows are not on a flat surface. They are on a slightly inclined surface to create an angle where they meet, which, if you think about it, is exactly what a diamond cut is. When they cut diamond, they give them those angle cut so the light reflects differently. And this is what, if you see the S7 from more far away, you will appreciate the details. And again, as you can imagine, it's much easier to build a boat with a flat windows than to create the right perfect angle that the designer wants. But this is the result instead if you follow. So I think we should go into the crew quarter, and probably you want to pass by here and we go back there, because otherwise two adult men with a big camera will not pass through the walkways. They are comfortable and big, but not that much. We are still at 70 feet. So the way down, very sturdy, comfortable handrail with actually two beds, with the second bed will be, instead of these storage units right here, you have a second beds which actually fold down. You do have this is actually a table, you know, so for the crew to have also a sort of a desk if they have to do their notes, sometimes, you know, fuel readings and maintenance log and cruising log. They want to have a comfortable little table, so there's an area here where they can do their homework, if you wish. Closet on that side, which is very easy, opens, you know, with the shelves and safe in this instance. There is a storage under the bed, vacuum system also in the crew quarters, and of course you close your table. This is obviously the bathroom area, and they have a separate shower and toilet compartment, so which is actually very, very comfortable. I mean, I can totally stand and move around freely without any limitation. TV system, of course, the TV swing around. You know, you have a bracket, and you unlock the bracket for weather protection. You don't want this to be a light piece of equipment, and he can watch his TV and rest. And then when you put it back, this spring-loaded lock will make sure that it stays in place. Electrical panel, as well as clever usage of space. Again, hanging bar for you know, t-shirts and shirts and so on and so forth, as well as a lot of useful storage, and electrical panel, which actually is always nice to show and take a look at. You want to probably remove this panel, these cushions, and this gives you an idea of the level of technical quality. If you can come and take a nice look, and as everything is organized, all the wires are numbered. We provide each boat with digital and paper wiring diagrams, so in case of issues and problems, electricians just with the diagram can come and locate all the components and all the wirings, all the fed, all the loads, relays, and contactor, and so on and so forth. So this is the level of quality backstage of Azimut Yachts engineering. I want to close it right now. So this gives you an idea. Again, we are in 70 feet, so not a small boat, but it's not a big boat either. So you have a lot of creative, intelligent solution and usage of space. So for crew quarters, again, I think this is it, and we can go take a look at the engine room. So we got now to the engine room, as I like to call it, the heart of every yacht. Of course, upstairs everything is nice and pretty, but it's extremely important that everything down here is nice and tighty, because if something goes wrong down here, no matter how pretty it is up there, your experience will be definitely affected. So we will go quickly through components and design. This, as we said at the beginning, is a triple IPS propulsion package, which means that you have these three engines, which the IPS approximately provide 30% more power as a drive versus the equivalent in a shaft line configuration. What that means that in order to provide 1,000 horsepower of moving power to the boat in a shaft line configuration, you need an engine able to create 1,000 horsepower. With you have an IPS configuration, you do the same with 700 horsepower. So a smaller engine means several things. One of which is compact. Compact means that the engine room, the space dedicated to the engine room, can be smaller and narrower. And in this instance of this specific model, that provides two very specific advantages. One is everything we have seen going that way, which is crew quarter, master shower, toilet, walk-in closet, master cabin, and so on. So we're being able to move more aft the engine room and make it smaller, enable you in the same amount of feet to make much larger living quarters in the lower deck. And then also when it comes to height, the fact that you don't have a shaft line, so you don't have to respect that angle of the shaft coming out of the boat and going in front of the rudders, but your propulsion system is right under the engines or right under the transmissions because it's a pod. You can drop the engines. So number one, they're smaller while delivering the same power as bigger shaft line configuration. And number two, you can drop them because you don't need to have that angle of for the shaft, which gives you this big box that you see here is a garage, which in 70 feet allow you to host a jet ski and a tender side by side, always cover, protect them from the environment. We'll see it later. We'll open the garage and take a look. But this big protrusion, if you wish, that you see on top of the engines is the garage module, which can happen only because of an IPS propulsion. If this boat would be a shaft line propulsion, we'll have to be much higher in order to have a garage, and will not have a garage. We'll have a platform with a tender on it. So this is the triple IPS configuration. As we said, these are 1,050 each, so you have a total of 3,150 horsepower powering the S7. You know, the performance, I never go through performance too much because those are all information which are available online. This is a wide open 34, 35 knot boat cruising all day at 28. Another extremely important benefit of the IPS propulsion combined with the right hull is the complete lack of vibration and noise. So if you compare the same amount of power delivered by a traditional shaft line, vibration or noise are significantly higher. The IPS configuration, because of the pod and the fact that there is no turbulence, so the propellers are actually biting into clean water, That's why the revolution of IPS propulsion was extremely significant. The propellers are facing forward, they're pulling the boat forward, and it means in a simple way that they're basically, the propeller is a screw screwing into a piece of wood, right? Imagine that. And the propeller facing forward are screwing into clean water. The water the propeller screws into has full volume. There is no air, there is no oxygen, there's no turbulence. In a shaft line, the propellers are pushing and they're biting into a little bit dirtier water in a way of turbulence. And that's why there is all studies, engineering, and also there you need to design house properly, tunnels, avoid cavitation, and so on and so forth. But in IPS configuration, vibration, noise, and last but not least, you are in the range between 20, 25, up to, depend on the RPMs level, up to 30% less fuel burn than the equivalent power in a shaft line. So it's really a win-win configuration, and this is what we have here on the S7. Fuel tank also, capacity, I mean, this is 1,000 gallons of fuel available. We typically, I rarely mention range, and sometimes I forget, I apologize. We typically design all the product to provide the owner with the 10 hours at cruising speed. This means that this boat has 1,000 gallons of fuel capacity. Our calculation always include the generators on and return. So you know, diesel engines, they burn fuel, but they also have fuel that they don't burn, which goes back to the tank. So our calculations are very precise. They leave a 10% margin, and we want to provide 10 hours of navigation at cruising speed for every model. This is the rule of thumb, at least at Azimut Yachts. So range on an S7, you're looking at 200, anywhere between 250 and 300 miles range at speeds between 25 and 28 knots, and a burning of 1900 gallons an hour. So fuel system, these are the Raker fuel filters. You have a double set for each engine, port, center, starboard behind you. You can select one, two, or both. So in case you have a problem with one filter, you always want to run on one filter. So then if you have a problem, you run with the other. Self-explanatory. Firefighting system. Here is our air conditioning system. So all the compressors and the compressed gas is happening here in the engine room. This is a chill water system, which means that you have compressors. We compress a gas which by chemistry produce cold, and that cold is transferred into a loop of water. You have a pump which drive this water, and this tells you the pressure at which that water is flowing through the boat. And imagine you have a water line which goes to every fan coil on the boat. That water is extremely cold. The colder the setting on the temperature that you put, the colder the water the compressor will generate. That water goes through the fan coil, which then blow air into the serpentine, and that is conditioned air. So all your gas, all your noise, all your technical components are here in the engine room, and all you have going through the boat is a line of cold water and a fan which you can adjust the speed of the airflow you want. So that's what is called a chill water system. Onan, Cummins, Onan, same company, American brand generator. In this case we have a single unit, but 21.5 kW, which is way more, there's way more power here than what you need on the entire boat. So these units obviously is capable of supply power for the entire boat with very minimum power management. We have the main electrical panel here, which again I always like to actually show. They all come with their own connected safety opening device, but it's always nice to show the backstage or something that not necessarily is shown on average videos. And if you come this way instead you can appreciate the level of details and quality that Azimut Yachts put in every system. I always love to see and to show in these videos the backstage, the engine room, the electrical panels, the bilges, because these are actually the things we are extremely proud of, just as much as we are of the exterior design, interior design. Again, if something goes wrong here, no matter how pretty is the main deck, you will not have a pleasurable experience. So we close it now, and while we are next to it, every of our model is equipped, of course, with fuel tank reading levels in the main helm, but you also have your optic level in the engine room. So in case the main helm goes wrong, you want to make sure that you come down here and you press your two valves, and you have your visual fuel level indicator. Why only on one side? Because all the Azimut Yachts fuel tank are communicating. Of course, you have a valve that you can close in order to avoid communication between the tank. Let's see, for example, that you have water in the fuel, and you realize that you need to transfer fuel from one tank to the other to clean it. That will allow you to isolate the tanks from each other for maintenance, service, and so on. But in a normal day operation, the tanks are communicating to each other. This is why you need a visual gauge only on one tank, and that will give you the level of both tanks to that level. Again, going this way, you have this is actually the central vacuum system hose that we have seen before. There is a spare one here for some reason. Going this way, you have actually a lot of room. Again, this is a technical space. Of course, I'm not walking into a salon or a hallway in the lower deck. It's technical space, requires some adaptation. That's normal. We are now in a technical environment. Once you're here, you can stand. This is your transmissions that you can access, control, check, service in a very comfortable way. Even the middle one, I don't think it's the case for me now to go down there, but I could. I mean, there is room to do all the needed maintenance. Over there, I have two hydraulic units. One is for the garage door, the other one is for the gangway. Easily serviceable. Refill oil tank, checking condition and maintaining. You know, it's all there is definitely a decent, comfortable amount of space here to do your check and your maintenance. These are actually the minimum bypass mufflers of the exhaust. So until the engines runs at a certain RPMs, exhaust water comes out from the side, and then when there is pressure enough, comes out from underneath. So this, if you wonder what these big chunky components are. Freshwater pump, again, this is not here by accident. These are components which sooner or later go, are very stressed, used a lot, and so you wanted to make sure that they are in very comfortable position to be worked on, to be maintained, to be checked, to be reset, to check your freshwater pressure system. You have your manometer here, your reset button here, and in case you need to either replace the brushes of the motor or replace the entire pump, the position couldn't be more comfortable than this. You undo these 4 bolts, you disconnect this line from a quick disconnect up here, and you take the pump, service it, replace it, and put it back. So it's not hidden in a stupid position. This is nice. Fail-safe galvanic isolator. Why not talking about it a little bit? This, to make a long story short, what this does is protect the underwater metal from galvanic corrosion. And you can see what this does is basically it separates the ground conductor coming from the dock. This is the shore power cord. The ground conductor is separated by these components. What does it mean? It means that now, even though you are connected to the same dock in the marina with all the other boats, you are not connected to them in terms of ground wire, which to make a long story short, that is what would cause corrosion and problem of zincs erosion in case you don't have a fail-safe galvanic isolator, because if the boat next to you has no zincs and you do have good zincs and you're both connected to the same ground without this component, what you are doing, what your boat is now doing, is protecting the boat next door. So your zincs are deteriorating at twice as much the speed because you're protecting you and him or her. And what that means, that they're going to run out faster and you're going to get your underwater metal damage because you're protecting someone else, just because you're connected at the dock and they are not doing their job maintaining their zincs. This cut that line. Still protect ground protection, so ground is a safety equipment, but through this you're no longer connected to any other boat on the dock. So your zincs are only working for you or protecting your underwater material. After the engine room, we are approaching our stern. Again, I always like to put a lot of attention on handrails, so always a safe. Also, to come out of the water, you might wonder, what is this? This is the boarding ladder. You unhook this hatch, take it out, goes down in the water. When you come back on the boat, you want a nice safe handle on the deck to come back up. So this is the transom of the S7, of course. This door pivot this way, creating a beach platform. Obviously we can't open it here at this dock, so I will open it as much as we can to show you, but picture it that once it's open becomes basically this entire surface that we will see is wide and long enough to accommodate up to three actually chaise long, sunbathing chaise long, and anyway is a beautiful lounging area that can be used to access the water and have a good time in close contact with the water. Garage is designed, let me go as much down as I can without risking to damage, but give you the idea of the dimension of this platform. The garage is actually designed to host 2 water toys, so you can have a 13.5 feet tender and a Sea-Doo Spark, a jet ski, the compact jet ski next to it, which is actually pretty unique for this size of boat. And on one end they don't pollute, if you wish, the exterior line of the boat. So once your toys are in the garage and this door is closed, your boat will always look as pretty as it has been designed without hanging weird components on the transom. But also they are always protected from the environment. They are, once you rinse them off with fresh water and you put them in here, they're going to be protected. They are not exposed to the sun. The upholstery doesn't get abused by the sun, and so is a double purpose, cosmetic but also technical, to preserve your toys. This tent obviously is intended to make this area looks a little bit more pretty, if you wish. When imagine that the platform is down, now your toys are in the water and you're using a platform, you have a couple of chairs on a chaise longue. You don't want to look into a garage, which is more technical space. You have a dedicated tent. When you roll it down, it actually has an Azimut Yacht logo on it, so it's a beautiful tight tent which cover the garage. And so I guess that here from the transom we have completed our work-through video on this Azimut Yachts S7. Thank you for watching. If you have any question, please do not hesitate to contact us, azimutyachts.com, to locate your official dealer, and have a nice day. Thank you.